and welcome to my channel. I'm Lynn Tzammah, author of The Theory of Everything Biblical, available now on Amazon. My book is the best Bible study tool of all time because it's dedicated to the truth. I study languages. I can read and translate Paleo or ancient Hebrew, and there's a difference between ancient and modern Hebrew. At the end of every session, you're going to learn a Hebrew word. I want you to learn because the original God-breathed scriptures were written in Hebrew, not Greek. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Today's lesson, let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 15, verses 13 through 15. In my book, The Theory of Everything Biblical, I dedicate an entire chapter to today's lesson. There are over 150 English Bible translations, and we're going to go through every one of them today. Just kidding. So we're going to start. We're going to read a few of those variations or translations, and then we'll get to my translation of Genesis 15:13. From the World English Bible, this is their translation of Genesis 15:13. And he said to Abram, "Know for sure that your seed will be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, and will serve them. They will afflict them 400 years." From the Complete Jewish Bible, translation, Genesis 15:13, Adonai said to Abram, "Know this for certain, your descendants will be foreigners in a land that is not theirs. They will be slaves and held in oppression their 400 years." Now let's switch to everyone's favorite, the King James Bible, Genesis 15:13. And he said to Abram, "Know of a surety that thy seed shall be strangers in a land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. What's my point? I'm getting there. We're going to go now to the Message Bible. This is their translation, and we're going to read Genesis 13 through 15. God said to Abram, "Know this, your descendants will live as outsiders in a land not theirs. They will be enslaved and beaten down 400 years. Then I'll punish their slave masters. Your offspring will march out of there loaded with plunder, but not you. You'll have a long and full life and die a good and peaceful death." We're not going to stop there. We're going to the Expanded Bible. This is Tzammah's Bible study. This is not Tzammah's Bible tutorial, Bible read. We are going to study, and that means we're going to go through everything. My book, my word, my message today from the book of Genesis, we're getting there. It's deep. The Expanded Bible, Genesis 15:13 through 15 verses. Then the Lord said to Abram, "You can be sure your descendants, your seed will be strangers, wanderers, resident aliens in a land they don't own. The people there will make them slaves and be cruel to oppress them for 400 years. But I will punish, I will judge the nation where they were slaves, in which they served. Then your descendants or your seed will leave that land, taking great wealth, possessions with them. And you, Abram, you will die. You'll go to be with your fathers, your ancestors, in peace, and will be buried at an old age." Last but not least, we're going to go to the Living Bible, Genesis 13 through 15. Then Jehovah told Abram, "Your descendants will be oppressed as slaves in a foreign land for 400 years. But I will punish that nation that enslaves them. And at the end, they will come away with great wealth. But you will die in peace at a ripe old age." Now here's my translation. Genesis 15:13. And he says to Abram, he knows that she understands, for they are strangers, temporary inhabitants, Yahweh's seed in a country not theirs. and they will work bound and afflicted by them 400 years. Now let's go to history. Let's see how history and Bible prophecy parallel or relate. In 2017, the United States of America, at the first session, enacted the 400 Years of African American History Commission Act. This act commemorates the 400th anniversary of the arrival of Africans in the English colonies at Point Comfort, Virginia in 1619. Links to this act will be in the description bar below. But in 2017, Congress signed an act to establish the 400 years of African American contributions to this country. Let's go back to Genesis 15 for a second. And he says to Abram, he knows that she understands they are strangers in a country not theirs. Yahweh's seed, they would work bound and afflicted for 400 years. So here's my assignment to you. I want you to grab a pen and a piece of paper. I want you to write down Genesis 15:13 out of any Bible translation you want. And then I want you to go around the globe. Write down every country that has enacted a legislation acknowledging that a race of people have served them for 400 people. A race of people that have been bound, afflicted, hurt, tormented, gone through depression, miserable for 400 years. This is your assignment. I want you to challenge my translation. I want you to challenge my book. I want you to challenge this legislation. But don't ever challenge the fact that Yahweh's seed suffered for 400 years in a land that was not theirs. And for more information, if you want to study the entire text of this subject, go to my book, The Theory of Everything Biblical. I bring together scripture, Hebrew, Bible prophecy, history, math, science, and I wrap it all up with love. At the end of everything, my book is about my love for my people, my understanding, and my love for the truth. So, with that said, we're going to move on to my Hebrew word of the day. I told you at the end of every session, you're going to learn a new Hebrew word, and today's word is Abba. The Hebrew word for father. Abba, Abba, Abayak, your father. Abayana, our father. And Abba Raham, which means father of many. In my daily life, I acknowledge the Most High God. I call him my Abba in my prayers. Whatever I'm doing on my way to work, if I'm in traffic, I call out to Abba. So let's start that practice. You know your first Hebrew word. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. And I want you to follow me to the truth.